Hello, everybody. Well, I am back at it again. I've had to work a little bit without um, doing some videotaping. I think I got a little frustrated and then I didn't feel like recording it, so I'll bring you up to speed. I had gotten everything installed, everything was fine, and it seemed to be okay. I tested the pump, everything was good. And then the last thing I did was I made the lines, and then I just tested the pump again. Everything seemed okay. And then I started the truck, turned the pump on, nothing. Totally dead. So I kind of looked at it, just made sure everything, like all the basics were good. I shut the truck off, and when I would turn on the signal wire or turn the pump on, all you'd hear was a little, like the pump just barely moved. It would just barely move, and it might move every 30 seconds. It'd go, and then it'd try again. And I could not figure it out. I messed with it forever. I could not get it figured out. And so finally, in some testing, I just did a test of the fuse, and the fuse tested out okay. And so I thought that was fine. And then further on in the testing, I connected my power source directly to the pump, and all of a sudden it started working. So I went back and I tested the fuse, and it must be like partially blown because it shows continuity across the fuse, but as soon as you start putting any voltage, it like kind of fails, I guess you could say. Very unusual. If I can find the fuse, I'll show you what it does, at least on the multimeter. So I think that was the issue. So I went on the Amazons and I bought one of these guys. This is a resettable 80 amp breaker. And so I'm going to install that right now, and hopefully that will fix the power problem and I'll be able to test it. So we'll see. I'm going to take you along and get this thing installed, and we'll see what happens. All right, here's my beater old fluke meter that my father-in-law gave me, which I very much like, but it's definitely getting up there, but it still works pretty well. And here's the fuse, the 80 amp fuse. And if you look here, let's see if I can get it in the camera. It really looks okay, right? Everything looks pretty good. You can't quite see all the way in the caps, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. So our continuity test, just a simple one. I'm sure there's like a royal way to do it. So like now, there's like a partial resistance. Is that what you would say? I guess like there's partial, like it's going through it, but like the last time I tested this, it would kind of beep at first when you would put it on there. It'd beep for a second, and I think that's what was getting me in trouble. Was it would beep just for a second. Not doing it now, but it would just beep long enough where I would touch it, it would beep, and I'd be like, oh, everything's good, and you can kind of see it register some resistance. So I think really that was the problem there. All right, so we got this half done for the amp wiring. The instructions that came with it did not specify which end the power comes in and which way it goes out. So I'm just going left to right, I guess. So we'll see what happens if I blow it up. All right, get rid of this guy. Don't need this doodad either. I probably went a little overkill with the gauge of the wire for the amp wiring. I think it was 4 gauge. Probably a little much, but that's okay. I think it's okay. Oops. I don't know if that seems a little small for this. Actually, it might just be enough. Ooh, that hurts. Come on, there we go. I got almost all the little wires in there. Almost all of them. I think that's good enough. Oh yeah, look at that. Fantastic. So let's see if we can hit that puppy. There we go. We got it there. Nice and tight. And this guy just goes right there. I was thinking kind of run it through that hole just temporarily so I can kind of test it out whilst I drive, perhaps. It's kind of a pain to do it, but the hood kind of wants to squish yet. Otherwise, seems like a bad idea. Seems like a bad idea, but just do it because I'm gonna want to take it for a test drive. I'm not gonna want this like just flapping around inside the engine compartment, wrapping up in the fan or something. So if everything is good, then we'll get it mounted. That's good for now. And then we also have this. I should probably slap a butt connector on those real quick as well. Oh man. This wire I will not route through there because I should have done it first. But it's little, it can go over there fine for now. So let me just grab a couple of butt connectors real quick. Alright, it's got a couple of butt connectors. I'm just gonna put them onto these guys. They're the unused CAN wires, but I don't know. I don't know if it would damage them if they short because you can see they like touched against the frame or something, mess it up. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Just chop this thing out of here. I don't need that no more. And I'll just squeeze that guy on there. I'll just slap one on this fat one. There you go. Okay, so that at least kind of protect them from touching the frame along the way. Then up next, we are going to attach it to our battery. Attaching it to the battery. and for testing purposes, the power wire and the signal on wire are gonna just go onto the block for now, and I'll disconnect them at the pump as well once I get some testing done on it. And since safety is a factor, I'm going to take off my ring. Let's see if you can see the blast out of it. That was from changing a battery on my camper one night, and I had a metal wrench in my hand, and I was tightening a terminal, and I was holding it like this. There's another little tiny spot. I don't know if you can see it. Just a little spot right there, little dent. I was holding the wrench like that, and I touched that on the other side of the terminal. So as I was tightening, let's say this one down, the wrench was like that. It was in my hand, and my ring completed the circuit, and that blew a big old chunk out of that puppy and left a really nasty burn on my finger. Not fun. That hurt quite a bit. Lesson learned. Take off your ring. All right, so there we are. Battery complete. So we should be able to come back here, and if all is right in the world, I should be able to plug this in and the pump will turn on. Except I would need to turn on the breaker. That'd be awesome. Breaker set. Take two. Oh, diggity. She's going. Now I got oil everywhere from testing and stuff that I don't really know if it's leaking, because I got it everywhere. So we're gonna try and wipe it up here. I'm still not thrilled with that connector there into the guy, because it's aluminum, and it just, like, I'm really afraid to put the beans to it to tighten it up. I feel like it's going to break off, so I haven't done that yet. All right, so I got the truck running, the pump's running. Let's try it out and see if the steering wheel goes. Let's see. Oh man, it's still a little bit hard, but I mean, like before, I couldn't even turn. I don't want to turn it too much sitting still. That's never good for any power steering. But I could actually turn it a little bit, so I am super excited.